I'm Alex Taylor. I'm 17 and I have a 68 Camaro that I like to call the Bad Marrow. So my parents and I actually built this car when I was 15. It started out just being a daily driver car that I could drive to high school. It was going to be simple, just a daily driver car. But my dad made the mistake of saying something about drag week, and one thing led to another, and the car snowballed, and it became a race car that I drive to school still. So we began building the car that summer, and I turned 16 in July of 2013. And we finished the car in late August of 2013, and as some of you may know, Drag Week is in early September of 2013, so we were cutting it close on everything. So I had never actually been down the track myself driving because I didn't race juniors. So right before Drag Week, right after we finished the car, we went to the track, and I learned how to launch the car, I learned how to do a burnout, I learned how to tune the car, and we were going over a brand new car, so I got one shot to learn it all. And that was that. So then my dad took my mom and I to Bowling Green, Kentucky, which is where Drag Week started that year, and he dropped us off in a brand new car that didn't have hardly any street miles, didn't have but a couple track passes, and my mom and I made the week. So Mom and I loved Drag Week. We came back and talked about how great it was, how much fun it was, the camaraderie, the people, the experience, everything was so awesome. So we knew that we had to go back next year, but Dad and I decided that if we were going back, the car should be just a little faster. So we went to PRI that winter, and we were looking for stuff that would make the car just a little faster. But once again, everything snowballed, and we ran into some really great companies like BorgWarner and Tile, and the car became a turbo car. So my dad and I built a 6-liter twin-turbo motor and put it in the car, and that's what's in it still. So last year, I was licensed. I got my NHRA license so I could drive my car, and then we went on Drag Week again. My fastest pass last year, which was right after Drag Week, was a 906. But the car's pretty much still the same as it was then. But like I said, we went on Drag Week. My dad decided he needed in on the fun, so he took a car. I took my car. My mom rode with me, and we made the week. So it was a blast once again, so we knew that we had to come back this year. So the car is not much different this year than it is now, than it was, but it's just got some small changes that we just recently changed. They probably needed to be changed from the beginning, but we've been messing with all the big stuff, like changing motors, so, we didn't have time to do all the little stuff, but we've got that all lined out now, so I'm hoping this year to run 8s. That's what I've been chasing for a year now, so I'm hoping to make the 8s. That's what I plan to run, but we'll see how it goes. So this year, I'm actually going on Rocky Mountain Race Week, which is coming up in just a couple weeks. It's going to be in mid-July. And then I'm also going on Drag Week, which is in September once again. So over the course of those events, I'll actually be doing videos for Heads Up Streetcars that you guys can watch and ask questions, and I'll answer and just fill you in on what's going on in those weeks and before the weeks and all that. So stay tuned to see some of those because it'll be a blast. But how I got started in cars was actually my parents own a car business. So they actually used to be in fiberglass. They did fiberglass wheelies. And so since I was little, just a couple weeks old, I've been at the shop. And so I grew up around that. I'd watch my dad, when I was little, and I'd see what he did, and I'd listen to him, and so I've always been in the car world, but we didn't really get started back into drag racing until I was about 7. So my dad built a 41 Willys, which was a replica of the car Stonewoods and Cook, and we called ours PPC, which is Pebble, Pulp, and Chef, and it was so we did nostalgia racing, and so I loved it. It was a blast. I loved being at the track, but I wasn't totally involved in it just yet. That actually happened a couple years later when my dad traded one of his Willys that he built for Denny Terzich's 2007 Drag Week winning 67 Camaro. And so I fell in love with the car. I was the crew chief in my books. That's what I considered myself, was the crew chief for that car when we were at the track. So I was totally involved in it. loved it. I loved going to the races with that car. And that's also where my love for drag week grew. I knew from then that I wanted to do drag week. I just never knew that I was going to be doing it by myself at first. I always thought I'd do it with my dad first, but I'm kind of glad it played out the way it did. But yeah, so that's where I really started to love drag racing. So they ended up selling the car a couple years later, which totally broke my heart. But then we built my car, so when we built mine, I said that this was going to be my version of the Black Camaro. So that's actually where the name Bad Maro came from, because for a little while, just a couple months before we sold the car, we called that car Bad Maro, and we had the license plate. So my car is now the Bad Maro, and it's the little girl version of the black car. So that's where my love for drag racing grew, and so now here I am with my car, and I'm doing events this year at, like I said, Rocky Mountain and Drag Week. So follow along, watch the videos that's coming up. Like I said, they're for Heads Up Streetcar. I'll be doing videos to follow the week, the prep before it, because that's a mess in itself. That is, it's a rush. So there'll be lots going on then, and I'll be doing update videos, and you guys can ask me questions, and I'll answer some of them. So please stay tuned and watch these videos, and thanks for watching. Bye.